When I started this passion project called Invasive Brews, I wanted to do two things. I wanted to educate people about invasive species and their effects on our everyday lives, our economies, our ecosystems, and I wanted to advocate for small breweries like my own. And not just advocate for them for their delicious beer like Jabba the Wit here from Point Brewing, shout out guys, but I wanted to advocate for their passions, their dreams. And when I found out that Point Brewing was doing an event that educated people about invasive species and released a new beer for it, I had to go.
Look at you.
Actually,
My name is Kelsey Backelman. I'm the Aquatic Invasive Species Prevention Educator for Michigan State University Extension. I've worked here for about 3 years now. I come from a background of fisheries and invasive species work from Grand Valley State University and Alaska Pacific University. Moved back to Michigan in 2019 and started getting involved back in conservation work here. I run the Clean Boats, Clean Waters program for Michigan. That's ran through Michigan State University Extension and through our partners with the Department of State Department called Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy. We run the Clean Boats, Clean Waters program and the Michigan State University Mobile Boat Wash program, which both do outreach and education around Michigan on the boater pathway invasive species work. And through that work, we saw that a group down in Pennsylvania did a collaboration with their local breweries, doing invasive species work and canned work and events with their communities and trying to hit new populations and new underrepresented areas. To spread the word about invasive species is kind of a new way to do it through the outreach to the brewery and the cans that way. And so that leads us to when I reached out to Jeff, who I knew personally before this, the avid fisherman, and I knew that they were really big on the conservation work over here, so it seemed like a great match at the time when I reached out to him for this program. Your turn.
Yeah, Jeff Knobloch, co-owner of Point Brewing Company. My business partner is not here, but it's Gary Evans. Yeah, as Kelsey said, we've known each other personally. When Kelsey came to us about this project beginning last year, we were excited because it's something we can talk about. It's something that everybody in the state can relate to. It's non-political. It takes water to make beer, and we have such a incredible resource here. I grew up on Lake Huron. I've been living in Southwest Michigan for 16 years with my wife, and I couldn't be happier. This place is incredible. Obviously, Rance, you've got to experience some of this weather and seeing some of the water and where we live, and when she came to us with this project, and I'm like, yes, yeah, let's I want to be on board any way we can, and if we can help educate the world, or the state anyway. I'll say the world because you're coming.
Yeah.
And you're going to put this in the World Wide Web. I think this is fantastic, and it's just an awareness thing, and we love being a part of it.
Yeah, and I guess I'll add to that too. Today's hope is to educate new people, both youth and adults, who might not get out to our boat washes. Maybe they don't have a boat, but maybe they fish. So it's trying to hit new clientele that way and spread the education outreach to new areas that we normally don't reach. We do that through the games, the swag, the handouts, interactive things to get both families and groups alike to join in and learn more through hands-on activities with it. And then the hope today is also with the cans going out, we'll have a continued outreach past the event as well, reaching new people through distribution of the cans that way.
And today I dropped off 4 cases of this beer already.
Awesome.
to places. So we're kicking it off, and it gives me the opportunity when I'm doing this to explain this project to everybody, because there's so many beautiful beers out there, so many beautiful breweries in this country, obviously, and how can you set yourself apart? And just another IPA, but it's not. There's more to it, and it's something we can talk. It's something I can talk about rather than the weather. And it's it's really that's what's really impactful for me, is I get to have this whole new conversation with Big Rig.
And it provides long-lasting outreach for us, even when we're not there, because on the can we provide a 2-paragraph snippet about Starry Stonewort on it. So even if people are out drinking on their boat or something, and Jeff and I aren't there obviously doing research or outreach, then they'll be drinking it and reading it at the same time. So even without being there, we'll still doing outreach that way, which is great. Our first year last year, which is our first pilot run, was the Red Swamp Crayfish, which went pretty great, I think, for our first run of it all. It was a little choppy getting everything together, but once it came together, it was really great. So this year was a bit more smooth. We picked out Starry Stonewort, which is one of very common invasive species here in Michigan in our lakes. It's technically a macroalgae and not a plant, which is kind of fun because it looks like a plant, but it's not. It's actually a bunch of different segments together. Starry Stonewort came over around like 1980s from Eurasia. Forms pretty dense mats in lakes. It even covers other invasive species, so it's like a double mat almost, and that kind of stuff can get caught in propellers. It can slow down motorboats, it can hang on to kayaks. It snuffs out areas for fish to breed in, like pulling out oxygen. It creates these dense mats that nothing can really thrive in, and it also blocks out light as well from getting below it. So these can create very dense mats in lakes. So that's kind of the whole point today, is to provide more outreach on it and to promote clean, drain, dry in Michigan, which is the law here. You must clean your boat from any plant debris, anything hanging off your trailer or gear. That must be cleaned legally before you leave the launch. Everything must be drained. Bilge water, ballast tank, or live wells must be drained before you leave a launch, and everything must be disposed bait-wise. You can't throw that into the lakes. And this part's not the law, but it's recommended by Michigan currently to dry your boat after every time going out of a water body, ideally 5 days in the air dry too.
Well, and we've seen so many things. I mean, I'm not sure if everybody pays attention to this as much as I do, but since I'm an avid fisherman and in the water, we've seen the invasion of the zebra mussels, the Quagga mussels a few years, a couple decades ago, and then the Gobys, and now the state has just spent, I think there was like
billions of dollars
on the prevention of the big-headed carp.
Which we don't have Asian carp technically yet. Lake Erie had a bad spout with green carp from a sterilization project, but they technically have not crossed the Chicago line yet. But yeah, so in Michigan we have quite a few different invasive species, a lot of different fish invasive species, including the round goby, Eurasian Ruffe, sea lamprey, which are a big one and notorious one. People recognize that one all the time. And technically there are native lamprey in Michigan too, so we try not to get those confused because those ones are good. But the big sea lamprey ones cause issue in a lot of our Great Lakes. We still see bites come up and everything on them, and during COVID that control kind of went down because there was no tech jobs because of no money and people not working. So the population kind of went back up, but now they're getting controlled again pretty well. But inland lakes, which I work on mostly, we have a lot of Eurasian milfoil, Eurasian water milfoil, a lot of curly pondweed, zebra mussels, which are now being taken over by Quagga mussels, curly pondweed, starry stonewort, and then we see a lot of Brazilian waterweed as well. And then this year in Michigan, we also had a spout of hydrilla, which I know comes down from Florida. You guys have that pretty bad down there. We had a small ID of that down in southwest Michigan, kind of where you're going on Sunday. They got spotted during a private lake inspection, and they took care of it very quickly last year, treated it very heavily. They're doing inspections now to make sure they got everything because it connected into Lake Michigan. So that was not a good time last year.
To see more about Trail Point Brewing, be sure to check out the video I have of them and the round goby there in Lake Michigan. Until next time, plant native, drink local.